ठीक है. However, no society in the world allows incest within the nuclear family. That means nuclear family incest taboo is universal. No society will allow. But there are some exceptions where incest taboo is allowed within nuclear family. What are these? Egyptian royal family. Hawaiian royal family. Incan royal family. They allowed brother-sister incest. Have you heard of Cleopatra? She got married to her brother. But Egyptian society at large, they did not practice incest. They did not allow. They practiced incest taboo. So only royal family make a distinction. The Egyptian family, then Hawaiian royal family, Incan royal family, they only practiced incest within the nuclear family. But society at large there, they did not allow incest. ठीक है? So that is why I told you, no society in the world practiced incest within nuclear family. Even not Egyptian society at large. And incest taboo is not a rule of marriage. Yet it regulates marriage. See, when you are writing marriage based on rules, why I did not mention it? Because it is not a rule of marriage. But all rules are meant for regulating something. So it is not a rule of marriage, but it regulates marriage. You know how? See, marriage cannot be conceptualized, or you can say marriage cannot be solemnized without sexual relationship. In case of incest taboo, it doesn't allow sexual relationship between close relatives. That means it doesn't allow marriage between close relatives. So in this way, although it is not a rule of marriage, yes, it is regulating marriage. Means you cannot marry your close relatives. Got this point? So it is not a rule of marriage, yet it is regulating marriage. Not clear? Can marriage be solemnized without sexual relationship? If you cannot marry, if you cannot have sexual relationship with your close relative, how could you marry her? That means it is regulating. What is regulation of marriage? Means whom you can marry, whom you cannot marry. So why people cannot marry their close relatives? Because there is incest taboo. Now clear? So in this way, although it is not a rule of marriage, it is regulating marriage. See, rules are there for what? Regulating human behaviors. So it is not a rule of marriage, it is a rule of sexual relationship. And all sexual relationship cannot be said to be marriage. And marriage cannot be solemnized, cannot be conceptualized without sexual relationship. If one cannot indulge in sexual relationship with one's close relatives, then he or she cannot marry one's relative. So that is the role of regulating marriage. Understood or not? There are incest taboo is universally practiced in nuclear family. So the question is, why all nuclear families, why all nuclear families practice incest. There must be some facts. So this has been explained by various factors. ठीक है, वेरियस थ्योरी. तो फर्स्ट थ्योरी जो है, चाइल्डहुड फैमिलिटी थ्योरी. by E. Westermann. He says that those are knowing each other from childhood days. They avoid sexual relationship with each other. Or in other words, childhood familiarity breeds sexual disinterest. See, those are close relatives. They know each other from childhood days. Because of longer knowing with each other, they do not have interest in sexual relationship. That's why there is incest taboo in the members of nuclear family. See, members of nuclear family are who? Parents, siblings, children. So they live together. They know each other from childhood days. That's why they have a sexual disinterest. And for him, this is the reason why incest is tabooed in nuclear family. ठीक है? He has been supported by many scholars. Who are they? एक तो है, स्कॉलर का नाम मुझे नहीं याद नहीं आता. एक मिनट. Arthur Wolf. He studied Tang Yangxi. It means adoptive marriage. I told you some families in Taiwan, they practice adoptive marriage. And you know, most of the adoptive marriages are failed marriages. Because husband and wives, they know each other from childhood days. That's why they do not have sexual interest. Because of this marriage, most of the marriage is failed marriage. That means Westermarck seems to be correct, because he is supported by many scholars. Then Hilda and Seymour Parker. They studied two samples of father. One sample of father has allegedly sexually abused their daughters. And another group of father, they did not abuse their daughters sexually. When these samples of fathers were investigated, it is known that those samples of father illegally sexually abused their daughters, they were away from home when their daughter was growing for various reasons, maybe due to trade and commerce. Some fathers were put behind bars, imprisoned. That means they did not know their daughters from childhood days. And it may be the possible reason for sexually abusing their daughters. And those fathers have not done so. They have been spending almost all the time with their daughter from childhood days. Again, Western mark is supported. Okay. Then he was also supported by Sapir. Sapir has referred to kibbutzism in Israel. You know about kibbutzism or commune in Israel? तो kibbutzism जो है, it is a community organization practiced in Israel before long back, especially during the time of nation building in Israel. You know, after Second World War, Israelis increasingly felt the need of their homeland. So therefore, both adult male and female participated in the nation building process in Israel. So if both adult male and female are engaged in nation building process, who are going to take care of their children? So for taking care of children, they made a community organization where children from local areas, they were brought together, they were brought up under the charter of kibbutz and a caretaker. Parents did not upbring their children. It is kibbutz or community organization under the aegis of caretaker. And this Sapir have interviewed many members of kibbutz. And they said that we do not want to marry same members of our kibbutz. So when they were asked, why you don't want to marry members of your own kibbutz, they said that our lives like open books. We know each other everything from childhood days. That's why we do not have sexual interest in the kibbutz member. Hence they do not marry. That means he is proven to be correct. That if there is childhood familiarity, they do not prefer to indulge in sexual relations. So now tell me, is this theory a correct theory? So I have given arguments and support to the theories. Now we have to put some remark whether it is accepted theory or rejected theory. What is your opinion? Kavya, accepted. So everyone is accepting this theory? क्या बोलता है? You have to conclude. You cannot say I do not know. Acha, tell me, we are not putting our hand to fire because we know that fire will burn our hand. So for that, state should make a law that today we are enacting a law which prohibits you to put your hand in fire because it will burn your hand. See, when people themselves don't want to practice something where there should be an explicit rule. See, people don't want to do these things. Then why society will make a rule for that? Can you explain it? That means there must be something else which is responsible for incest taboo. क्या बोलता है? They are saying that if there is childhood familiarity, there is sexual disinterest. So people don't want to do it. So then why society will make it an explicit rule for that? That means this theory is not correct theory. So this theory is rejected. Means this reason is not applicable to their theories. What I have said to, can you explain it? So then, when people don't want to do something, then why to make a law for that? Yes, that is the reason. Is it not a valid point? So that's why this theory is rejected theory. Then Freud's theory, Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud is the father of psychology, and he has explained universal existence of incest taboo in nuclear family through psychological means. He said that there is an instinct or inherent tendency among sons to have sexual relationship with their mother. Have you heard of Oedipus mythology? Nation. So there is an complex called Oedipus complex. According to this complex, all sons have a tendency to have sexual relationship with their mother. And opposite is Electra complex. All daughters have a tendency to have sexual relationship with their father. So this theory says, if son indulge in this relationship, they will be retaliated by their father. Because father is powerful in every respect. If they do so, they will be retaliated by their father. So to avoid this behavior, they bring this thought to their unconscious mind. If something is in unconscious mind, that doesn't influence you much. But at times this thought from subconscious mind come to conscious mind, and that desire becomes very strong. So to avoid this desire, society has made a taboo on this desire, on this behavior. That is why incest taboo is universal in nuclear family. You got the theory. ठीक है? Now the question, if sons are indulging in sexual relationship with their mother, father will retaliate. But father-daughter incest is not taken place. Because if father is indulging in sexual relations with the daughter, no one is there to retaliate. कोई है retaliate करने के लिए. But father is not doing that. The incest is not only between mother and son. It can be between father and daughter. Across the world, hardly father is indulging in sexual relationship with their daughter. Who is stopping them? No one is there. But father is not doing. That means this theory is also not absolute. It explains mother-son incest, but not father-daughter. ठीक है? Then family disruption theory by Malinowski. See, Malinowski says that if there is a sexual relationship between members of nuclear family, so are you aware of nuclear family, extended family? तो पूछता क्यों नहीं? नहीं पता है तो मैं बोलते जा रहा हूं तो सब कुछ तो बेकार लगेगा. आस्क क्वेश्चन. यहाँ पे मोनोलॉग मन की बात सुनने नहीं आया. आस्क रेलिवेंट क्वेश्चन. इट विल हेल्प. और ऐसा नहीं किसी तरह से कोचिंग खत्म कर देंगे, आईएएस बन जाएगा, ऐसा भी नहीं. जब तक ये कोई कॉलेज की एग्जाम नहीं है, कुछ भी लिख देगा मार्क्स मिल जाएगा. देयर शैल बी क्लैरिटी ऑफ कॉन्सेप्ट, क्लियर कट एक्सप्रेशन. बहुत लोग अंग्रेजी बोलता है फराटेदार, यहां पे इंग्लिश में फेल होता है. बिकॉज यू वोंट बी एप्रिसिएटेड फॉर योर लैंग्वेज, यू विल बी एप्रिसिएटेड फॉर योर सब्सटेंस. दिस इज नॉट ए टेस्ट ऑफ इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज. जब तक सब्सटेंस नहीं होगा ना, फालतू बकवास करने से मार्क्स नहीं आते. बहुत दिखे, आईएम का भी देखे, आईआईटी का भी देखे, हर साल थोक के बवाते. जरूरी नहीं है आईआईटी आईएम से होगा तो आईएएस बनी जाएगी. चांसेस ज्यादा है, लेकिन ऐसा कोई सर्टेनिटी नहीं है जो आईएएस बनेगा ही बनेगा. कि बहुत लोग क्लैरिटी डेवलप नहीं कर पाते. तो जब भी इफ यू डू नॉट नो समथिंग, आस्क. इट इज ए न्यू सब्जेक्ट, डोंट टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड. मैं तो सोचा सब जानता हूं इसलिए मैं चला गया था. न्यूक्लियर फैमिली मीन्स पेरेंट्स लिविंग विद देयर अनमैरिड चिल्ड्रन. This is nuclear family. तो एक कहावत है, डोंट मैरी इन हेस्ट एंड रिपेंट इन लेजर. सुना नहीं कहावत? इट्स ए पॉपुलर सेइंग. डोंट मैरी इन हेस्ट एंड रिपेंट इन लेजर. कोचिंग खत्म करने से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. You have go to a long way. So this is nuclear family. ठीक है. What is extended family? Kavya? What is extended family? बताओ, एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली सुना तो होगा ना? यू हैव हर्ड ऑफ एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली. तो पड़ोसी भी आगे एक साथ अगर है लेगा वो एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली हो जाएगी. Generation criteria is not important. When related nuclear families living under the same roof, but they do not share kitchen, property in common, and each brother is head of his own respective nuclear family, that family is called nuclear family. So where is the issue in your meaning? You didn't refer to related nuclear family. When brothers with their respective nuclear families living under the same roof, but they do not share hearth, the kitchen. They do not share property in common. Each brother is head of his own respective nuclear family. That family is called extended family. When they share everything, they share kitchen, they share property in common, they have common patriarch, they live under the same roof, that is called joint family. Actually, joint family is found in few societies, like India, some pockets in China, some parts of Southern Europe. But in most of the parts in the world, people practice extended families. What is lineage? Lineage means वंश. हिंदी में वंश बोलता है, वंश. That is called lineage. A number of extended families together makes a lineage, and ancestor of the lineage is a known ancestor. It is not any hypothetical figure or imaginary figure, because he is a real figure who existed 7 to 8 generations back. Usually in Hindu marriage, at the time of marriage, you have to recall they live under the same roof, that is called joint family. Actually, joint family is found in few societies, like India, some pockets in China, some parts of Southern Europe. But in most of the parts in the world, people practice extended families. What is lineage? Lineage means वंश. हिंदी में वंश बोलता है, वंश. That is called lineage. A number of extended families together makes a lineage, and head of ancestor of the lineage is a known ancestor. It is not any hypothetical figure or imaginary figure, because he is a real figure who existed 7 to 8 generations back. Usually in Hindu marriage, at the time of marriage, you have to recall ancestor from 7th generation back on your mother's side as well as on your father's side. That ancestor of the 7th generation is ancestor of your lineage. He is a real figure. He existed. The Bonds is a smaller group. Whereas a number of lineage together makes a clan. An ancestor of a clan goes back to hundreds of generations, which cannot be maintained in realistic sense. That's why mythological figures are considered to be ancestor of a clan. जैसे कि in Hinduism, Kashyap clan, Kashyap Gotra. Who is Kashyap? He is a mythological figure, mythological sage. So it is believed that those are members of Kashyap clan. They have descended down from Kashyap Muni. So here in this diagram I have shown decreasing order of closeness. So if you marry a member of your own clan, in Hinduism it will be incest, which is taboo. And those are practicing, they are meted with severe punishment, sometimes honor killing. तो इस पूछना जो नहीं समझ में आता, ये तो मैं बोलता जाऊंगा तुम लोग सुनता जाएगा, फिर जब लिखने की बारी आएगी तब कुछ और लिख देंगे. तो according to Malinowski, if there is incestuous relationship, within the close relatives, then family will be disrupted. How? Suppose father indulges in sexual relations with the daughter. They can give birth to children. So what is the relation between this daughter and daughter out of father-daughter with the father? Will he be called grandfather or father? What will the relationship between mother and daughter? Is there not going to be sexual jealousy within the family? So under these circumstances, can family perform its all the functions? And you know, family is the basic unit in every society. If family is disrupted, society will disrupt. So to avoid family disruption, society has tabooed incest. So nobody will indulge in this kind of relationship. Family will remain intact. So it will ensure survival of the society. Hana? But he has been countered by referring to brother-sister incest in the royal families. See, societies, not society, some families in the royalty allowed brother-sister incest. These families have not been disrupted. The societies across the world, they could have allowed brother-sister incest in the nuclear family. But it is not allowed. Is it allowed? Brother-sister incest do not disrupt family. ये तो कर सकता था ना. Then why it is not allowed? That means this is also not a valid valid theory. Theory should be absolute. There should not be any loophole. Then cooperation theory. एक मिनट पॉइंट. अच्छा सुनिए, मैंने क्या लिखा आपको बताइए ना. तो लेके आए हो आपने? हाँ जी. तो उसकी एप्लीकेशन, उसके एडमिशन लेना कब कब हुआ?
एडमिशन फॉर्म क्या?
हाँ जी,
कोई बात हुई आप उसकी
एडमिशन फॉर्म भेजिए मुझे. उसको फोन करने के लिए किसने बोला था आपको? उसको मैं फोन करने कहा था आप? देखिए, यू पहले खड़ा हो जाइए. डोंट डिस्टर्ब मी. तो आप मुझे पूछिए. तो आप उसको क्यों फोन करने चाहिए? मैं आई हैव इंस्ट्रक्टेड यू टू कॉल हिम. तो सो डोंट डू व्हिच यू आर नॉट. अब बहस मत करिए. जब आपको कुछ जो बोला नहीं जाता नहीं करेंगे, तो आप मुझे पूछो ना. अच्छा, तो मैं रिपीट करूंगा क्योंकि ये पंथ है। तो कहां से खत्म किया था? जो बाहर से गया थे वो कोऑपरेशन थ्योरी. So why they have given cooperation theory? They believe that a nuclear group or smaller group is not self-sufficient. You need cooperation from outside. So how to secure cooperation from outside? There is a strategy through marriage. So ancient people tabooed incest within the nuclear family. That means you cannot marry. So you are bound to marry outside. And because of the relationship with outsiders, cooperation will be quite secure. Because in relationship, there is obligation. Because of that, people in the relationship cooperate with each other. See, if there is no relationship, there is no obligation. You break out the relationship if there is no cooperation. For example, friendship. If friends help, it continues. If they do not help, जाओ अपना रास्ता देखो, मैं अपना रास्ता देखता हूँ. But can you set apart with your relatives so easily? So what you'll do? You'll cooperate. So the theory is countered by saying, is marriage the only way out to secure cooperation? There can be other way out. For example, if there is exchange of goods and services, आपका बिजनेस इंटरेस्ट है तो आप कोऑपरेट करते कि नहीं? If there are exchanges of ideas, in that case also cooperation can be expected. So therefore, this theory of cooperation cannot explain existence of incest taboo in nuclear family. ठीक है. Inbreeding theory. What is inbreeding theory? First we should know what is inbreeding. जानता है? It means marriage between close relatives. जैसे cousin marriage. It is an example of inbreeding. In case of inbreeding, offsprings born out of the inbreeding may have infected with genetic disorders. There is increasing probability of suffering from genetic disorders. And all genetic disorders are incurable at the present level of medical advancement. Means nowhere in the world, including USA, not a single genetic disorder can be cured. They can be treated. And most of the genetic disorders are dreaded disorders. मर जाता लोग. So how you can control the genetic disorders? If close relatives do not marry, means members of nuclear family do not marry, there is chance to avoid these genetic disorders in the offspring. So there is no way out, other way out to control genetic disorder. So scholars believe that because of impact of inbreeding, societies have tabooed incest. So they will not marry with their close relatives. So they can control appearance of genetic disorders in the family. So do you think this is a valid, sorry तो रिजेक्ट हो गया, ये वैलिड थ्योरी है? अच्छा, those are opposing to this theory. What are the ground? कुछ तो ग्राउंड होगा. ऐसे ही बोल रहे मन में आया तो हम मानते नहीं. तर्क नहीं, कुतर्क नहीं, तर्क दो. देखो, those are opposed to this theory. They said, what about tribals? See, they do not have know-how about genetic disorder. So how, on this ground, they can practice incest taboo? It's a valid point. कहां से ट्राइबल लोग जान गया ये सब जेनेटिक डिजीज ये सब वगैरह? It is true that tribals do not have know-how about the genetic disorders. But one thing they have also been observing. You know, Toikopia, a small tribal community in Pacific Ocean, have been observed by Raymond Firth. It's a tribe observed by Raymond Firth. It is a small island in Pacific Ocean called Toikopia. And the people inhabiting this island called Toikopian. So they have been observed by Raymond Firth, is a renowned American anthropologist. He observed that Toikopian have a concept called Mara. Mara means if there is close relatives, if there is marriage between close relatives, children are born with such disorders which cause physical challenges, handicap, then miscarriages, barrenness, and that's why they do not practice marriage between close relatives. So they do not have scientific know-how, but they have been observing that whenever there is marriage between close relatives, offsprings are facing health problems. And usually these health problems are fatal. That's why they do not practice incest in the nuclear family. So therefore, this is the only valid reason for incest. So nowhere in the world these diseases can be cured. But these diseases can be prevented to appear in the offspring. And that can only be done through tabooing incest. So it is not that every time you must know the mechanism. You know, there are two models. One is statistical model, one is mechanical model. In mechanical model, one must have knowledge of a particular thing. In statistical model, it is based upon observation. You do not know the mechanism, how a particular things work. But you have been observing that if it happens leading to this thing. For example, you know, before BH, Ayurvedic course, it was, before teaching this subject in university, you know, this medical practice was based on statistical model. For example, if you are giving a person suffering from common cold mixture of what is called honey and extract of tulsi leaves, he can be relieved of common cold. So how this curing the disease, it is not known to the Ayurveda. But they have observed every time when a person is suffering from common cold, given the mixture of tulsi extract and honey, he is cured. So now these scholars who are studying Ayurveda, they are trying to know the mechanism. So it is not that always mechanical model must be known. Statistical model is as relevant as mechanical. So therefore, It is inbreeding theory which can scientifically explain universal existence of incest. And you know, some institutes are saying this theory is also invalid. कि उन्होंने ये मारा का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं जाना, वही वाला ग्राउंड दे दे. Why it is invalid? Because tribals do not know the scientific mechanism of genetic diseases. So how they can taboo incest on this ground? But the answer to this unawareness is मारा. अच्छी किताब पढ़ेगा तो जानेगा. अब देसी किताब पढ़ लेगा, किसी ने पढ़ पढ़ के लिख दिया तो उसको तो वही आएगा ना, सब थ्योरी गलती है. क्या कह रहा है? अंग्रेजी अंग्रेजी बेस्ड. तो अंग्रेजी में तो किताब होते हैं सारे. फॉरेन ऑथर्स की बुक अच्छे होते. जो इंडियन ऑथर्स, दे आर नॉट ऑथर्स, दे आर थीप. इधर से चोरी कर लेगा, उधर से जगह कॉपी पेस्ट करके लिख देगा. ये थोड़ी ऑथर होते हैं. तो जो पीनाथ की बुक भी ऐसे ही है. पीनाथ बुक देखा? इट इज ए कॉपी पेस्ट ऑफ स्टेन एंड रो. काफी नहीं, दिस इज ए फंक्शनल थ्योरी. काफी नहीं, पूरा ही. कोऑपरेशन में कहा इवोल्यूशन देखा? Why you are talking of evolution? अरे, they have contributed to evolutionary work. They have also contributed to non-evolutionary work. See, Taylor has not studied only origin of religion and evolution of religion. He has studied definition of culture. He has incorporated statistics in anthropology. कितने सारे उसके काम हैं. तो these are from non-evolutionary work. तो ये भी कंप्लीट हो गया. तो क्या टाइलर को उतना ही काम किया था क्या? अरे बहुत काम किया है. नहीं, मेलिनोस्ट भी बहुत काम किया है. सो दीज आर हिज वर्क्स मेनली फ्रॉम फंक्शनल पर्सपेक्टिव. He didn't believe in classical evolutionism. He didn't believe in diffusionism. The classical evolutionists have no knowledge about functionalism. तो आया ही नहीं था ना. अब आ जाओ नेक्स्ट टॉपिक, मैरिज पेमेंट. There are different types of marriage payment, but according to the syllabus, we have to refer to dowry and bride wealth. So first we can do dowry. Tell me what is dowry? दहेज प्रथा, दान दहेज. मेरा एक दोस्त है ना, हमेशा दहेज बोले तो दान भी बोलेगा. और वो दान दहेज लेके ही शादी की. सबको बोल बोल के शादी की कि मैं तो इतना दहेज ले रहा हूं. तो मैंने बोला, जो इतना जो बोलता है शर्म नहीं आता? बोला हमारे बिहार में नहीं रहो तो समझ में शर्म आता. ज्यादा लो तो इज्जत बढ़ता है. वो भागलपुर से है. ऐसे है भागलपुर. ना सबको बोलता था जो मैं तो इतना दान दहेज, दान दहेज. तो बिहार में अगर आप दहेज नहीं लोगे ना तो लोग बदनाम करेंगे कि लड़का में कुछ कमी है। तो बताओ मयंक, व्हाट इज डाउरी? दान दहेज क्या है?
फैमिली की तरफ से कुछ पैसे दिए जाते हैं और कुछ सामान वगैरह दिए जाते
हाँ, किसको दिया जाता है?
हैं लोगों की फैमिली को।
अच्छा, काव्या, इट इज ए व्यू फ्रॉम नॉर्थ, साउथ। अच्छा, ये साउथ। तुम बताओ, जहां पे ये हरियाणा भी पीछे नहीं है देश के में। नहीं तो ये क्या बोलते, स्कॉर्पियो। बताओ व्हाट इज डाउरी? तो मैं जो बोला, तो कौन? नो कमेंट्स कमिंग फ्रॉम ऑनलाइन। ये कंफ्यूजन। अभी तक सही किसी ने बोला नहीं, ना ऑफलाइन स्टूडेंट ना ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट।
लड़के वालों की तरफ से डिमांड किया जाता है कितना चाहिए।
तो किसने किसको दे, सब तो बोलेगा तभी तो समझ में आएगा ना।
वाले लड़के वाले
अच्छा, सब गलत है। देखो, it is a popular custom in our society. People are giving, people are taking, but unfortunately, we do not know what is dowry. Dowry is a kind of marriage payment in which cash or kind or both can be given by bride's family to bride, not groom or groom's family. तुम्हारे वाला नहीं, सब यही है। Now I am explaining how it is contradicting popular belief that from bride's family to groom's family. Hindu Indian society practice patrilocal family. Means after marriage, newlywed couple stay with or nearby groom's family. So when this property given to bride, she goes along with this property. Do you think she will ask everyone not to use my property? See, this property belongs to bride. As she lives with groom's family, that's why groom's family are using this property. And it is also evident in case of dissolution of marriage or divorce, all the dowry wealth, dowry cash must be returned. If it is given to groom's or groom's family, then how you can take it back? See, morally you cannot take, na? If you give something to someone, how you can take it back? In reality, it was never given to groom's or groom's family. It was given to bride only. So when she is not going to stay with you and your family, how you can enjoy her wealth? समझ में आया? सारे पैसा लौटाना पड़ता है।